Your mic's not on.
Oops, sorry. Okay. So we'll call to order for tonight, the Monday, January 12th Town Commissioner meeting. If you'll rise for the pledge of allegiance to the flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Future meetings for the town of Emmitsburg is Citizens Advisory Committee meeting January 20th, 2026 at 7 p.m. here at the town office. Sustainable Community Workshop Group, January 28th, 2026, 7 p.m. town office. Planning Commission meeting, January 26th, 2026, 7 p.m. town office and on Zoom. And the next Board of Commissioner meeting will be February 2nd, 2026 at 7 p.m. at the town office and on Zoom. For tonight's meeting items, we have approval of the minutes for December the 2nd. Do we have a motion to accept the meetings for December 2nd meeting?
Make a motion.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Motion to second. Do we have any discussion on the minute?
I have a couple of corrections. Under town manager's report, it says the report was from November 2025 and it should be October 2025. And then under consent agenda, we had passed the proclamation celebrating the 200th anniversary of the incorporation of the town of Emmitsburg. However, the proclamation read 106 acres and it should actually read 35 acres. That was the recording of a deed from Samuel Emmett who sold, and the proclamation said 106 and it should be 35 acres. Can we correct that? And
It's been corrected.
perfect. That's it.
Okay. Any other comments? Corrections? All right, so with those corrections, we have approval to vote on the minutes. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. All right, our next item is police report.
Good evening. I'm Deputy Barklow, and I have the monthly police report for December 2025. This month for leave, we use 5 holiday/annual days and 3.5 days of sick. Myself and DFC Honaker assisted with the Christmas tree lighting, and we both had some online police one training. No fleet issues. We handled 100 calls for service, no arrests this month, 21 traffic stops. Calls worth highlighting. It was a roadway hazard, North Seaton Avenue. Deputy Honaker said something about it was like a water. I didn't handle it, so I'm not exactly sure. He said, tattoo shop storm drain was sunk in. I guess he had a couple of different calls there for service this month. I have to get some clarity on what exactly that was.
I think it was a storm drain. And
Yeah, that sounds right.
Looks like they fixed it.
Okay, that's good. Great.
They took the plate back off.
What's
The
that?
plate's missing from the.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
And then we just have our long stats. If anybody has any questions on that.
Not on that, but can we go back to the citations and the warnings?
Sure.
Is there a way to pull out how many of the citations were from the state of Maryland and how many were from Pennsylvania?
I'm sorry, I don't.
For the citations that have been written so far for the year, the whole year of last.
Right.
Is there a way to pull out? I know when I was on, we could pull out how many were Maryland
Like drivers.
drivers.
Oh, I don't think so. Not that I know of. Because when I pull up like our statistics, it'll say our warnings and our citations. but without going to in each individual stop and then seeing where the license was the driver, which would be a lot of, I mean, to my knowledge, I can ask and see if there's an easier way, but not to my knowledge, I don't know of a way to directly do that.
Do you guys now have an administrative person that handles all that information? Like,
We handle all this on the town basis. Myself, Deputy Honaker, and
but it
then
goes
our
in
direct
down to Frederick,
supervisors.
correct? All your tickets go to Frederick to be entered.
We use ETICS, which is a Maryland State
Right.
Police system.
Okay. I was just trying to figure out what the ratio is from people from Maryland, from people to Pennsylvania, since we sit on that border.
Right.
And my recommendation would be, at this point, I see that 25 warnings, but year to date, 286 compared to 37 citations. Shouldn't it be reversed? I mean, I'm
mean-
not trying to tell anybody how to do.
Right. I
their
mean,
job.
that's up to the discretion of us
I understand.
when we give warnings or citations.
Okay.
That's all.
Do you think the warnings are actually helping with the traffic in this town? I mean, I know there's, everywhere you go, somebody's doing more than the speed limit. It's something you guys can discuss or whatever, but maybe it's something that we should start writing a little bit more of the citations and a little less of the warnings.
Okay.
Not up to me. You guys make that decision. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, our next agenda item, town manager's report.
Yes,
Any highlights?
I'll just briefly highlight a few things. Related to streets, staff cut routes from tree wells on West Main Street that are raising up the sidewalks. For those of you that might not be aware, this is related to the sidewalk project, State Highway, and the town partnered in many years ago. There were some guarantees that the tree roots would not be pulling up the wells and the sidewalks, and unfortunately they are. So staff's having to go out and make a bunch of repairs. We are working with State Highway to find a solution. Staff removed graffiti from the stop sign on St. Joseph's Lane. They also winterized the Memorial Park restrooms and concession stand. The restroom in the E. Eugene Myers Park will remain open for the winter. That's new this year, so we'll see how that works out. Related to wastewater, only 4.54% of the wastewater treated was wild water. We had no spills of untreated sewage and we did not exceed the plant's design capacity. However, we do have a deficit of precipitation of 3.45 inches over the last 6 months. Rainbow Lake, or for water, Rainbow Lake is currently 0.6 or 6 inches below the spillway level. So it's sitting at 16 feet right now. Then you'll see the well depths on page 10 and page 11. The amount of backwash water in November was 20.78%. Trash pickup will remain Mondays during the month of January. Just two notable items on page 12 or 3, excuse me. Staff and the contractor repaired 2 leaks on North Seaton Avenue around the bridge and a large leak near Spike's Auto. Our leak detection specialist discovered one fire hydrant leaking as well as a curb box. And staff is moving valve listeners around town to collect more data and discover additional leaks. We did discover a large leak at the water plant. Our water now is performing the best that it's been in years. Our storage tank is holding well and production is doing very well. That's all I have.
Thank you. Next, grant administrator report, anything?
She didn't tell me what the highlights. Does anybody have any questions? Let me see. For North Seaton Avenue, MDE just issued their approval for Huntsberry. So we're hoping to have a contract signed with them by the end of the month and still looking to hopefully start construction around March. Creamery Road Pump Station is about all wrapped up. They're just finalizing final documents now that the federal government's back open. Contractor is working on the small ADA picnic shelter near the ADA playground. They started that last week. You'll see not approved. We did not get the one grant for North Seaton Avenue It was the one that we were partnering with Frederick County, and they did not receive the grant from the federal government. They did not receive that. And that's all I have. Unless somebody has any questions.
I just wanted to, real quick on grants, to tell you what Maddie goes through. We had a grant from the federal government and a grant from the state government for the same project. And the federal government told us that we had too much money and the state government told us we didn't have enough. So I don't know how you man these things like that, but that's the kind of stuff that we, actually it was for a loan. It was for a loan. And the one said we had too much money to qualify and the other said we didn't have enough to pay it back. So that's, it's funny how they do their books, but it's a tough job that she does.
I just had one quick question for the charging stations. Did we find out what the cost would be to add a payment option to the machines?
We cannot add payment options to our current machines. So we're still discussing it at the staff level with the mayor. I believe she listed there's a potential grant. If you look at the bottom, page 14, there's a community electric vehicle supply equipment grant. It would fund a portion of the electrical vehicle charging stations for a fast charging station that would allow payments. I don't know the match. This was just something that she sent out at the end of last week. She'll be back on Monday, so we can talk about it further then, get more details on it.
It may be worth her to look into with Allegheny Power. They may do it at no cost.
Allegheny Power.
Yep.
Okay.
We do a bunch of them with BG&E. So the electric companies do them as a program to different agencies to bring them in, and they put them in there and they install them, they maintain the equipment and everything.
Okay.
So Allegheny Power may have a similar item.
I'll let her know. Thank you.
All right. Kathy, anything on parking code enforcement to highlight or anything?
The only thing I would mention was during the parking, the town lended $1,802.50 that will donate to the.
Very good.
Kathy, a couple of months ago, we talked about expanding the code enforcement report to include citations, maybe rental registration applications processed.
Sorry. Yeah, they're down on the bottom. Said code violations and rental registration permits. At the time of this report, we did not have any code violations or rental registration permits come in. Very bottom, before it says totals December.
Okay.
Got it?
So there were none available.
Yes,
Okay,
correct.
got it.
All right. Any highlights on the town operations specialist report?
The only thing would be the 2026 Neighborhood Meals Program. I believe they're still looking for a sponsor for March and April. I know Brandy and the mayor were talking about that earlier today. And she's still working on, so she's got a lot of current projects going on, but that's probably the one to highlight right now.
Right. And if there's any group that anyone knows of that is concerned about funding for that, we actually do have funding that a local business gave for a month. If there's any organization or family that would like to do the meal for March or April, we can do the funding for that.
Very good.
I'll bring it up to the Suns. I don't think they participated last year, but to see if they want to do, they help do with the American Legion, maybe with the auxiliary and all three of us together.
Okay. Yeah. And I guess I should mention the business was Myers Durborough Funeral Home gave us a check for $1,000 to do a meal.
Is that what it usually costs? Frank?
Approximately.
Yeah, it depends what you
It's a-
have. You know,
Last year was about that when we went through.
depends what you have.
Very good. All right, thank you. Town planners report?
Good evening. This is the town planners report from December 2025. I've listed the number of permits processed and the zoning opinions provided. Development updates, Federal Stone and Cremary Court extension, we got their as-bills, and for water, sewer, lighting and landscaping. They were reviewed and the town engineer inspected on December 4th. 2025, and they reviewed the bond documents. The bond release is on the agenda tonight. Another update for development updates is the Emmett Ridge Improvement Plan. It's moving forward. It was conditionally approved by the Planning Commission in November. I also want to highlight that we sent out more notification letters for the rental registration ordinance, and they should be trickling in soon. The Federal Avenue Storm Inlet RFP was published, and we got some bids that we should be opening tomorrow, and we got the Community Legacy Grant for $75,000 for FY26. And I've listed the number of or the list of the meetings that I attended during the month of December.
I have a question for you. What does the demolition permit, what does that curtail? What is inside that? What is it giving approval to do?
So demolition permits, they're issued by the Frederick County, but they just want to see a letter from the town saying that they don't need a zoning permit. They just
Okay.
need a building permit.
Okay.
So it's a matter of just writing that letter.
So they're not sticking dynamite down in the ground and, I mean, I guess that
No,
could be
they're-
part of it, right?
But
a
for this, it
demolition?
wasn't. No, it's just,
It's just through the-
cutting the building.
Okay.
Raising a building or something like that.
But we don't have any control. It goes through the county.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
For the notification letters that you sent out regarding the rental registration, who are those letters going to?
So the last round went to everyone in town, or every water customer in town, because that was the best way to reach as many people as possible. So that was the last.
So with the water sewer bill?
Yes.
Okay, I'll have to look at that.
Okay.
All right, next on here, commissioner comments. Commissioner Bemenji, I know you
Yeah.
had something.
I just wanted to read something. On January 10th of this year, my wife and I would like to thank the Vigilant Hose Company for their invitation to the 172nd Annual Banquet. The food was amazing along with the atmosphere. It was amazing to view the support provided to VHC and from the federal, state, county, and local levels. This has made VHC the gold standard within our county, state, and beyond. To all the members of VHC, from voluntary to our paid members, my wife and I would like to thank you for your tireless effort in this service and protection of the citizens of Emmitsburg. Congratulations go to the VHC auxiliary members for 50 years of service, for providing support to VHC members and the community of Emmitsburg. Finally, I would like to congratulate all the members who were inducted into VHC's Hall of Fame. I want to thank you one and all for the tireless work provided from VHC to the community. And through that, I thought that it would be nice for the town to provide a plaque to the auxiliary members for their 50 years of service for actually the community and for Vigilant Hose Company. So I would like to see if we could do that.
Okay.
Do we need a motion or does that have to be put on the agenda? Okay.
Do we have a consent for a plaque for the VHC auxiliary? Anybody opposed to it? For 50 years of service? So be it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Very good, thank you.
Mhm.
Any other commissioner comments?
Yeah, I just wanted to
Hagan?
say, over the holidays, I was talking to members of the Frederick County Division of Aging and Independence, and they mentioned that a lot of the services aren't being used in North County. And I wanted to bring up on the January 21st at noon here, they'll be holding a community engagement session to see what the town, not only to explain the services they offer, but what the town may want, you know, from the service they offer or changing everything. And then later that night at 6 p.m., they're also doing a virtual session, but they're going around the county now at the different centers, asking those questions to look what it is. But they made a point when I was talking to them that that doesn't seem to be taken advantage of out here right now. So if you don't know what they do or anything, this gives you an opportunity to ask some questions and make some suggestions for them.
I just wanted to ask a question. I know we're going to talk about retail strategies tonight. So it kind of goes along with that conversation, but a couple of years ago when we talked about the sustainable community grants that we get from DHCD, I had mentioned maybe we could come up with a 100% coverage for income limited residents who can demonstrate a financial need. So I'd like us to revisit that, especially if the retail strategies gets approved. That would help with that project. So maybe I'll ask that we add it to an agenda. That's all.
Thank you. Any other comments? All right, I have none either for tonight. Mr. Mayor?
Wouldn't be a complete meeting if we didn't talk about brown water, right? For everybody that I'm sure most of the town experienced a day or two of brown water last week. There's several things that can cause that. One being, of course, a water main break, the use of a fire hydrant, the malfunction of a pressure reducing valve, and then, of course, the latest was a large volume of water being used by one of our customers. But most of the phone calls that I got, people were concerned about the water being tested, and they didn't realize that our water gets tested daily. So I just want to, ensure everyone that other than the color that ruined one of my white shirts, I got it this time, and that's okay. The water is safe. It's, we probably don't want to drink it until it clears up, but it is safe to take a shower and things like that. So just want everybody to know that. Got some good news from the State Highway Administration. They completed their study at the Route 140 and Harney Road intersection. They have found it to be dangerous in nature, and they are going to be doing some renovations to that area. So that's a good thing. It took a little while and took a lot of phone calls. And I just want to thank County Council member Mason Carter. Mason has been on this really, really hard for the last several months. And we finally got a letter back from them. So that's a good thing. So that's all I got. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We have no one signed up for public comments tonight. So that takes us over to administrative business. First item is the announcement of the 2025 Holiday House and Business Development Contest. Kelly, am I reading this or? Can we read this? I don't know. So we're, all right, for the announcement of 2025 Holiday House and Business Decoration Contest. First place, most traditional, 4075 Carrot Court. Second, let's see where we got. Second place for most traditional, 2 Provincial Parkway, right? And honorable mention would be 2070 Pembroke Court. Second, option here is most creative. 53 Federal Avenue, first place. 115 DePaul Street, the second place. And honorable mention is 1304 Huntley Circle. In best business, first place, Melissa Wetzel CPA. Second place, The Odd House. In third place, honorable mention is My Father's Footsteps. Do we need a motion or? Okay. Next agenda item.
And the checks are in the mail, by the way.
Oh, so the second administrative business is review of solar electric expenses for the town.
All right, so I will try to briefly explain the solar and how the expenses, how it kind of works, and then walk you through the savings. So the town pays UGI and Potomac Edison for energy expenses. UGI is considered a third-party service provider. Anybody, is it me? Yes, UGI is a third party energy service provider. Anybody can have a third party energy provider. The town utilizes UGI. We basically pay UGI for the kilowatt hours used by the solar fields and all the sub accounts set up under them. There's no fee paid to UGI for the solar fields themselves. I think there was some misconception that the town pays some sort of fee for each solar field. The only thing the town pays UGI for is the kilowatt hours used. There are 2 solar fields. On solar field number 1, there are 19 PE accounts meters, they're sub accounts. They include, but they're not limited to, the water plant, the pool, street lights, and vigilant hose. For example, we did this all off of FY25 because we have basically the audited numbers. So for example, in June of 2025, solar field number 1, the accounts used 81,140 kilowatt hours at a rate of 0.09823 per kilowatt hours. So the total we paid on solar field number 1 in June was $7,970.39. In fiscal year 25, on solar field number 2, there were 2 PE accounts or meters under solar field number 2. That included the wastewater treatment plant and Christ Community Church. In FY26, all the EV charging stations and the new restroom concession stand were added. We just don't have complete data on those 2 yet. The new pump station water clarifier will be added as well. So as you can see, there's another example of what that bill looked like to UGI. We paid UGI $9,179.44 for the sub accounts on solar field number 2. We still get Potomac Edison bills. Not every account is on solar. We do have non-solar accounts. And you always have some sort of expense to be paid to Potomac Edison for the infrastructure, even if an account is on solar. Their bills are nominal because there's no generation, there's no kilowatt hours on those bills, excuse me. In FY25, the average kilowatt hour rate we paid on non-solar accounts was 0.16 per kilowatt hour. So an overview of the solar field data for fiscal year 25. Solar field number 1, the town used 784,872 kilowatt hours. We paid UGI a total of, we paid UGI $49,998. This amount includes the total paid to UGI and PE after rebates. So that number there, the 49,998 is after the rebates that we receive once a year. And I'll get into the rebates a little bit down the road, but that's also what we paid to Potomac Edison. So that's the combined amount for solar field 1 and all 19 sub accounts. Solar in the field number 2 used 1,385,775 kilowatt hours for a total of $73,735. Non-solar accounts used 100,815 kilowatt hours. That was solely billed from PE. The total amount paid was $39,583. So our total energy expense for fiscal year 25 was $163,316, and we used 2,271,462 kilowatt hours in fiscal year 25. You'll see a little note down there next to non-solar accounts. So non-solar accounts, these accounts pay the kilowatt hour rate set by PE plus all the additional charges. If you've ever looked at your PE or whatever your electric company is, there is all the additional charges on your Potomac Edison account. As you can see, the non-solar accounts only use 100,000 or close to 101,000 kilowatt hours per year, but still cost the town $39,583. In contrast, solar field number 1, with all their 19 sub accounts, use 784,872 kilowatt hours. So roughly 685,000 more kilowatt hours in fiscal year 25. And that field only cost us $10,000 more than the non-solar accounts. If you go to page 20, and I just want to note, there are 14 non-solar accounts, mostly are made up of streetlights. We do have one account, and I listed the account number there. It ends in 708. This is a non-usage account, and it's a monthly expense for lighting fixtures. It's the same. It's roughly $2,000 every month. So if you go up top there, you'll see the non-solar cost was $39,583. If you subtract out the 708 account, fixtures only, there's no usage, roughly 16,174 for energy cost. Whether that's relative or not, it's just, I wanted to point that out, that that's not an actual kilowatt hour usage. It's a constant expense. So the non-solar usage was 100,815 kilowatt hours at roughly 16 cents per hour. The usage by the solar accounts was 2,170,647. If you take the estimated cost if the accounts were non-solar, so if every single account was non-solar and we used the 2,170,647 kilowatt hours, your estimated cost, if everything was non-solar, was 348,252. If you subtract out the non-solar, or you take out, the actual cost of solar accounts. So if you take out only the accounts that had usage, not your one account that had just for fixtures, the town spent $123,733. Your total savings on the solar accounts is roughly $224,519 in fiscal year 25 for these accounts being on solar. Each year we do get a rebate, and that this all takes into account the rebates we get from UGI. Each year we receive a rebate for energy generated by the solar fields that was not used by the town accounts. In May of 25, the town received $32,371 for 384,000 excess kilowatt hours by solar field number one over the previous 12 months. The town also received $54,515 for roughly 646,000 excess kilowatt hours generated by solar field number two. And those numbers are taken into account in this chart here. That's the quickness of it. All the numbers that you see here are backed up by all the Potomac Edison bills and all the UGI bills. The final numbers correspond to what the audit and our energy expenses are or were for 2025. I'll take questions and I'll do my best to answer. I'm not a solar expert. I can answer this part of it, but if it gets technical, wow.
I only have one question. That's not solar.
Okay.
So the Potomac Edison on page 22, where it says Potomac Edison item number one. So there's always an expense paid to Potomac Edison for infrastructure, even if it's an account that's on solar.
Correct.
So the solar accounts that we have here, dollars and cents, does it account for that infrastructure cost, or does that infrastructure cost go to the non-solar bills?
So yes, so the one non-solar bill is the one that has no usage, the fixtures.
120.
The 10, this,
Yeah, the 100.
yeah.
Yeah.
That one gets pulled out. These Potomac Edison ones, like here's one I'm looking at for Creamery Road. It's $8.85. This is calculated into the amount paid on page 22, the total amount paid.
Yeah.
So under solar field number one, the 49,998 includes all the Potomac Edison expense plus the UGI expense.
Okay. Very good.
So it does include the infrastructure, is what you're saying.
The infrastructure
49,998.
under the non-solar account, yes.
So the kilowatts of the solar plus the infrastructure fee from PE.
Correct.
Okay,
Yes.
very good. Thank you.
I do have a question. If we take the total energy expenses, which would, I guess the kilowatts, you add them all together, it's 2,271,462, correct? That's on your sheet.
Okay.
And then if you take all that and multiply it by the 0.16, 16 cents,
Mhm.
I come up with 363,433 instead of the 348.
Did you pull,
252.
did you pull out the account 708, the not based on usage? Did you pull that out?
No, no,
with your
no.
Number?
Right. What I was saying is, I'm just adding the kilowatts if we were to use the electric instead of the solar. Just
Mhm.
take all those kilowatts, multiply by 0.16.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what would I be pulling out? Because what you get from the electric company is the 0.16 times the total amount of
That's on it.
kilowatts.
Yeah, on average, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm just saying I have a different number than what you have. It's like $15,000 more
Mhm.
than what you have posted.
Okay.
And I didn't know if there was something else that we needed to
No.
pull out of that.
Mm-mm.
Okay, I just for comparison
So-
to see where we're at.
If you go. Calculator with me.
Don't mind.
2170. 0.16. Yeah, so
363, 433 is what I have.
see, if I take the 2,170,647, I come up with 347,303,52. So
Okay.
these numbers were rounded up. So it's roughly around that. I have the complete spreadsheet
Okay.
that shows every single calculation on how we got to the
You
kilowatt
said
hours.
2.1 million?
Yeah, it's-
Because the total energy expenses, that would be,
No, you take
I-
the, you take.
I
the u-
understand.
You take the usage.
but the total is kilowatt hours.
Correct.
No matter if it's solar or electric or what, correct? Kilowatt hours. So that is the number that you should use to multiply by 1.16. Because no matter if it's electric or solar, the kilowatt is a kilowatt.
Well, you just proved my case even more that there's a bigger savings. So.
That's what I'm saying.
I got these.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
It's 363 instead of the 348.
These are audited numbers, so
Okay.
I'm sure Kim pulled
No,
this
that's
number
fine.
from the audit or from the final numbers. I'm just going off of her number, but it could be off a little bit.
I'm just trying to make sure these numbers are correct and
They
adding up.
are.
Okay.
They are.
All right.
I can respectfully disagree with the commissioner.
About
We
what?
don't pay 0.16 for all of our kilowatt hours.
No, no, no.
That's only through
I'm not
Potomac
saying all.
Edison.
I'm saying
Well,
for
you
the
used a
electric.
number of 2.2 million.
Yeah, total kilowatt hours.
Yeah,
It
but we,
doesn't matter if it's electric, it doesn't matter if it's solar. A kilowatt hour is a kilowatt hour.
right, but we're paying different rates for solar versus non-solar.
Up here, it says non-solar cost 0.16. I'm using the total energy times the 0.16 to get the number of estimated costs if accounts were non-solar. That's all I'm doing. I'm not trying to split anything or make it look bad or good. I'm just trying to get the numbers right. to know
But
what
we
it-
didn't pay 16 cents.
Never mind.
Per-
Case closed. You won.
No,
I'm just saying, it's just a number.
we didn't pay that much for 2.2 million kilowatt hours, so it does matter.
No, what he's trying to show is
It
if
said we had a bigger
if we
savings.
had no solar, that would be the
Yes.
cost.
That's
That's
all
what
I
he's
was
saying.
trying to say. I don't know what you're trying to make out of this.
If he had no solar, it would all be 0.16 on average. That's what he's saying. So
The
that,
savings would be more. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
Not less, more.
Okay, it's just Kathy, a question. I noticed on the kilowatt, that the rate per kilowatt hour that we pay is less than the rate for the kilowatt hour on the rebate receive. How is that those two different rates being set? Is it a contractual thing, or how are those rates being determined per kilowatt hour? Yeah, because if we did like, so solar field one, based on the 0.098, that rebate would have been just under $38,000. Right. Okay. Okay, so it's, but so the the kilowatt per hour charge, what are they basing? How is that per hour charge being generated? Okay. Okay.
On average in fiscal year 25.
Okay. Right.
Kathy, do they set those rates every year? So would there be a different rate this year than last year? Every month? Okay. Do they have to go through the state commission to get,
Sorry,
do they have to go through the state, like, like the regulatory?
I would imagine. I don't know the answer to.
Okay, thank you.
Basically, the long and short of it is you're paying less for energy now than you were paying 10 years ago. I went back and looked at the audited numbers and you've added more accounts and you continue to build.
It's much better. It's much better than it was then.
Yes, a lot better. 'Cause we got a lot of flack when we switched over or added another one. And
Well, without the
I'm glad
addition,
it's working.
well,
And
without
there
the
is-
additional
there
counts,
is-
it was much better.
There is backup and documentation for all these numbers. If somebody wants a better explanation or a more detailed explanation, Kim and I would be more than happy to explain it to anybody. It's very detailed.
I think that might help because some of my questions were, how much power is generated in total
Mhm.
by the solar plant for FY 25? Because the spreadsheet just has usage, but it doesn't have the total power. So we have to pay for everything that's generated,
No,
not
we only
just,
pay what's used. We only pay what's used.
really?
Mm-hmm.
Because our contract doesn't read that way.
Yeah, we
Was
pay
it
for what's
changed?
used. We don't,
Sell back the rest.
right. So your rebate is what the excess in that field generated. So where did I put that
It'd
at?
be solar
It's on
field
here
1 and 2 combined, correct?
Right. So right here on page 23, we received 54,515 for the excess generated on solar field number 2. And then the excess, then we received another check for the excess, 384,000 excess kilowatt hours generated.
So we don't pay UGI for everything that's produced, everything that's generated?
No, we pay for what's used.
And then sell
Years,
back the
yeah,
rest.
years ago, there used to be a requirement that we had to use so much, and then the accounts then were so minimal, we had to pay for everything we used because
Yes.
we didn't have accounts to utilize all the power available.
Right.
So at that point, then what you're saying there, Commissioner Turnquist would be correct. We would have had to pay for stuff, use it or not. But now you're using so much of it, you're exceeding that minimum requirement.
And we're gonna be adding more on.
Right, well, you're gonna,
Get
yeah, but
fire
you're,
on that.
but you're already exceeding the requirement,
Yeah.
so the minimum. So you're
Yeah.
not, buying what doesn't get used now because you're using more than that minimum. That's how your country used to read. I'm not sure if
Right.
it's
Mhm.
same or not now.
Kathy, what would it take to add the lights onto this system? Have we ever looked at that? The town light?
Most of the street lights are on there.
Most
There
of them
some
are?
that are not. You want larger users on them, so we didn't put all the street lights on there. You know, the water clarifier will go on, the new pump station will go on. So we're using up the power. I'd have to ask Kim, but I don't think there's any room left on field 1 to add
Okay.
accounts. But I have to ask.
There's room on field 2?
Yes, but
Okay.
we're holding out for the 2 larger
Right.
ones first.
Okay, thank you.
For the amount paid on the chart, does that include reimbursement from Christ Community Church?
No. No, we take out Vigilant Hose and Christ Community Church because they do reimburse us, so we don't take that into consideration. Basically, for example, Vigilant Hose in July 25's bill, the town pays the UGI and PE bill, then we invoice Vigilant Hose for it. So for example, in July of 25, they used 19,976 kilowatt hours for a total of $1,962.24. Their PE bill was $436 for a total invoice of $2,398.24. So Vigilant Hose does pay for both PE and UGI. and Christ Community Church is the same way.
Okay, and VHC pays for both for the fire hall and the activities building, or is it just one of those on solar?
You know, I think it's just the one. on
It's
solar.
just a firehouse.
Just the
Firehouse is
Yeah,
on solar.
We,
Yeah.
when we, signed on with the town, we didn't have the other building.
Mm,
And the only reason we did that was to try to get the town up to that minimal usage.
Yes, yes, we were looking for users at that time.
Is that where the mayor got his free electricity?
Yeah, I have an extension cord running across the street, yeah.
So we know that Potomac Edison, including the kilowatt hour plus infrastructure, is around 16 cents, right, per kilowatt hour.
So no, just the point. Yeah. Oh, yes, yes. Plus the additional generation charges and stuff.
Do we know what the infrastructure cost is for the solar accounts?
We don't have any. What you see is what we pay UGI. That's what we pay. We do not pay for infrastructure. We don't pay for the field. We don't pay anything. We only pay for kilowatt hours used. That's all we pay UGI for.
Well, no, I mean to Potomac Edison. Do we know what we pay Potomac Edison for infrastructure cost for the solar fields?
We don't.
Well, it says that here.
Where?
Yeah.
Yes, please. I'm sorry.
Item number
It says
one.
there will always be expenses paid to Potomac Edison for infrastructure, even if an account is on solar. So
Right.
they still, right. So
Right.
what is that?
So we don't
percentage?
pay, but it's PE's infrastructure. So,
Right, what is that cost? Do we know
well,
what
it
the,
varies depending on the bill or the account. So let me just, here's one, for example. 101 Creamery Court, the PE bill was $23.20. Your generation charge was $11.02. Wait, yeah. Transmission charge is 40 cents, distribution charge $4.85. Another distribution charge 25 cents. Energy electric universal service fee is 25 cents. Franchise chat tax, surcharges, sales tax. It all adds up to $23.20, but there's no usage.
So the only.
Or there's actually, they list the usage on here, but they don't charge you for the usage.
So technically, if we ran out of power from the solar fields, then PE would kick in
Correct,
and then we would pay for that extra.
right.
And there would be a surcharge added to that PE bill.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's
I-
basically if you don't generate enough solar to cover all your sub accounts, so like
It
solar
kicks
field
over.
number one is 19 sub accounts. If we don't generate enough solar, then the town has to pay the PE rate. PE then jumps in and pays the rest.
And that would be a higher rate than,
Well, yeah, so
Right.
just if you see from the, on average in fiscal year 25, there's a difference of 16 cents or 9 cents.
so the 16 cents for PE covers the cost per kilowatt hour plus the infrastructure fee?
No.
Yes,
no.
yes, from Potomac Edison,
No.
Potomac
No.
Edison,
Hmm.
16%, I mean, 16
You
cents.
get on your electric bill, you get your, this is not,
just a kilowatt.
you just pay, so the 16 cents is your kilowatt hour. That's you're paying for energy. Plus then you've got to pay for all those other charges,
That infrastructure fee.
all the other charges that I just rattled off.
So that $23 in your sample would be in addition to whatever the 16 cents. are.
Correct.
Correct.
So for that one said it used 92
And it's-
92 kilowatt hours. So if you multiply that times the 0.16, again, that was on average. And then you would add all your other charges onto it.
Where the solar is 0.98, so 10 cents plus the infrastructure fees.
Right.
Well, I know if you look at a Potomac Edison bill, it's like 10 cents per kilowatt hour. Plus the infrastructure, which I guess is around 6% if we're looking at 16% overall, right? And for the solar fields, we pay right around 9 cents and 8 cents per kilowatt hour plus infrastructure, but I haven't heard what the infrastructure amount is.
Yeah.
Well, but the percentage, so we can compare apples to apples. Right, but
Right. I think what she's looking for is what's all those additional charges add up on our solar accounts for the stuff that's solar.
No. No, they're-
No, it does. No, it doesn't go on the solar, but don't we pay for their infrastructure on that end? No?
No,
Okay.
we don't. The only thing we pay UGI for is kilowatt hours used.
No, I'm talking about Potomac Edison. For stuff,
Wait a minute, let me explain.
Oh my God, I didn't.
Let me try.
Thank you.
So the solar account being the 10 cents,
right, 9 cents.
point
right.
nine eight, so whatever the 10 cents per kilowatt, that goes to UGI. Any infrastructure fee charge is charged by PE
correct,
and paid to PE only.
correct.
Kathy, if I say this wrong, let me know. So only the PE. So PE gets all the infrastructure
Right.
fees and makes all. So then the PE bill being 16 cents kilowatt. So if you use
Right,
100,
plus
it's
the
160.
infrastructure fee.
Right.
What, if-
So-
I guess where
So
I
the fee
was,
would be the same, whether it's solar or whether it's PE for the infrastructure.
right, for the infrastructure, but breaking up by the account, we know what accounts, in each account is getting charged an infrastructure fee for the stuff that's on the solar,
Correct.
that we're paying this infrastructure fee to PE. What's the total of that? No, I said from
No, no.
PE.
They
No,
said it.
no, they understand. that.
Right,
But
but it's part of the
but
solar account.
It's not a, but it's not a
cost
flat fee. It's going to be based off of.
Of the
if-
kilowatts
if-
used.
If you use this much kilowatt across our line from your solar,
Okay.
you're going to pay this much. So
Right.
think
so
of
the
it
question is,
mileage.
what is that
think of it mileage,
percentage?
so much per mile.
What is that percentage?
Well, I don't know what a percentage is. I don't know what PE charges for percentages. wise.
But if you look at the
I don't-
Potomac
I
Edison
think it's just a
bill,
fee for so many cents or whatever per kilowatt across their line.
I do stand corrected. Kim just emailed me that 0.16 does factor in the cost of infrastructure on E. PE.
right, so the question would be, what is the cost of infrastructure that we pay PE for our solar accounts?
So yeah, so,
but-
so then what would it be without the infrastructure cost?
It's not infrastructure for UGI, it's their infrastructure, it's PE's interest.
Right.
You're
for
confusing
our-
me too, Valerie. If I'm confusing you, you're confusing me
No, we pay PE infrastructure
for their
for our
infrastructure.
solar account.
Correct.
Yes.
So we pay them.
So
we
what the
pay them
cost is, what,
kilowatts.
the question is, what is that percentage?
Yeah, we
look
pay them
like?
kilowatts and we pay them infrastructure. We pay
Okay.
them both.
How about if you make a list of your questions, we get them to Kim, that she can sit down and pull everything out, and we'll send out those answers to everyone. Because I think, everybody's kind of getting lost in this because we don't have a solar expert, but we'll get you all the answers you want, and Kim can get that for you real quick, probably tomorrow.
That's fine. But
Just one final question. When we get the rebate checks or the reimbursement for the unused, where does that money get deposited?
It gets deposited. I have to check with Kim on that. I believe she takes them and spreads it out to to each department, whatever solar present or whatever energy expense is in each department. So if 15 uses this percentage and streets uses, that's building streets and water, sewer, it gets spread out that way. But I will confirm that with Kim.
Okay, thank you.
So I think the goal then is to get the true kilowatt cost, not 16 cents.
Just get us those questions and we'll get you the answers.
Very good. Thank you. All right, moving on to the next agenda item for consent is a proclamation. Proclamation for is there a proclamation renaming and dedicating 531 acres of the Ski Liberty Mountain to the Don and Libby Briggs Family and Wildlife Recreation Preserve? Proclamation reads, let it hereby be known on the occasion of this recognition on this 12th day of January 2026, the town of Emmitsburg hereby renames the property Ski Mountain Liberty to the Don and Libby Briggs Family Wildlife and Recreation Reserve, bounded by Annandale Road and Scott Road Farm, and up along and crossing Crystal Fountain Road, Frederick, Maryland, in a total of 531 plus acres. Signed, Alan F. Davis, Jr., Mayor, and Jim Hoover, President, Board of Commissioners. We have
Need a motion to accept.
Second.
all those in favor.
Aye.
Aye.
Two. That takes us on to the treasurer's report.
Cash balance of, this is cash activities for as of December 29th, 2025. Cash balance as of December 1st was $7,426,450. Total deposits was $68,853. Total withdrawals were $604,032, which left us with the operating balance forward of $6,891,271. The top 10 checks are there for you to see where that was written out for the month of December. Breakdown of the fund breakdown for 12/29/25 would be general fund of $1.6 million, capital projects of almost 953,000. Stormwater was 30,000. Water was 255,000. ARPA was 356,000. Sewer was 3.6 million, which totals $6,871,090. Any questions on the count?
Sir. Planning Commission report.
Nope, there was no planning commission meeting since our last general meeting.
All right. But you do have one this month, correct?
Right.
Correct. All right. Thank you. Agenda items, we wanted to move agenda item 5, was it? Is that correct? No. So we're gonna post agenda item number 5 up to the top of the list of our agenda items. Agenda item number 5 is for consideration approval of a proposed from Retail Strategies to develop an action plan for downtown revitalization. And we're boosting that up because we have a representative on the Zoom. Walk us through this, or-
Is Sean? Yes, if she'd be willing to. Beth, if you would be willing to walk them through your proposal.
Absolutely. So I know I gave a presentation at the last meeting. I'm happy to go through that whole thing again if that is needed, or I can just kind of give a high level and then we can answer any questions. How would you prefer? If someone is saying something, I cannot hear it. I'm so sorry.
Sarah, we need to hold on 1 second. They're having a problem with the speaker. They're getting a new one.
Oh,
Just give me a minute.
Hi, can you hear us?
yes.
All right, you're good.
Thank you, Beth. You can go ahead and get started now if you don't mind.
Okay. Do you want me to do the whole presentation or just a high level and then answer questions?
Probably just a highlight of the proposal and then if they have any questions.
Yeah, perfect. So again, I'm Sarah Beth Stewart with Retail Strategies. Our Downtown Strategies division focuses specifically on small communities, just like Emmitsburg, to really spark that investment into downtown, see some new life with different businesses. Instead of recreating the wheel, so you guys already have a lot of plans, you already have your code and ordinances in place. We're going to review all of those current things that you are working on and create an action plan. Most importantly, that plan is very implementable by our teams. So that's included into the partnership. So once we have decided what is our first step based off of all the things that you guys have going on, based off your current assets, we will kickstart implementation with our local action teams. So this plan is very asset driven. It's very actionable, taking into account where you have been and where we want to go in the next 5 years. So it's not a big, strong, beautiful master plan where it takes $20 million and 20 years to get there. It's all about incremental change based off where you are. And as I mentioned, those local action teams is where we look at different volunteer groups, leaning on those that are very passionate about your community to accomplish the goals that we have laid out in that 5-year strategic plan. There is a market analysis included, so we do spend a lot of time studying the demographics and consumers that have the opportunity to engage with your downtown. We are then going to come to the market, walk the downtown, which your downtown is very walkable, meet with different shop owners, meet with different property owners. I know there's a few properties that are vacant and a little bit of blight, so we want to really put our eyes to those properties, figure out what is that next step. Hopefully meet with those different property owners, really understanding what are some hurdles the property owners face versus the businesses face and operating in the downtown. We're then going to have a stakeholder engagement. So again, open to the public, open to different people who are really vested in the downtown. And that helps us put together that 5-year strategic plan. Typically, that is presented around month 9 of the partnership, just depending on scheduling. And again, that first year partnership, we kickstart that implementation, again, using those local action teams.
Are there any questions for Ben?
We had talked about maybe getting grant funds. Is it still a possibility?
So the mayor and I talked about it, and I think the mayor and staff's recommendation would be to fund year 1 and then find grants for the subsequent years. Something we were talking to Ms. Shaw about, and she is out till next week. We're going to follow up with her on additional grant funding.
Would we take the 45,000 out of our other budget under general fund?
It would be recommended as a budget transfer that will come to the board. So yes, it would come out of general fund as a budget transfer. It would be brought to the board in February.
So what we're looking at tonight then is for the approval of the consideration and approval of the proposal. But Commissioner Turnquist, you just said 45,000.
45,000
Am I missing something?
for year
Page
1?
58.
It's 58?
Page 58.
Oh,
Oh, no, sorry, page 58.
Yes, okay. Okay, I'm looking for the number, okay. All right. Okay.
I do have a question, Kathy. Would we get a discount if we did all 3 years at once? Hello?
Yeah, so how that contract is written up, it includes the 3 years. How we structure our partnerships is we kind of keep all of those funds as low as we can with that 3-year agreement. If you decided, hey, we're not going to do a 3-year agreement, that price would change a little slightly because of how that would look. How the contract is written, though, you can exit out of the contract with no penalty at any given time. So the price deduct for doing a 3-year commitment is already built into that proposal and into the contract. But again, you can exit out at any time We understand priorities change, funds change, grants aren't funded. So we do want to be very mindful of that for communities, especially small communities. We understand circumstances changed. So that's how those agreements are written.
Thank you.
Does year one include the implementation phase?
Yes, ma'am, it does. So it includes the data, includes our workshop, our travel, it includes the 5-year strategic plan and the kickstart of implementation. There is no additional fees, there are no additional costs, travel costs, or anything surprise like that. That is all built in together, including that implementation.
And what does the cost for year 2 and 3 cover?
Implementation phases.
So year 1 doesn't necessarily cover the implementation.
You know, it can, so implementation, we do start that in that first year partnership. Usually, again, about month 9, month 10, just depending again on scheduling. We'll kickstart that pretty quickly. Sometimes it moves sooner, sometimes it takes a little bit longer, just depending on several different circumstances. But we will start implementation that first year. Typically, the strategies that we work on with those local action teams, we want to see those be the strategies that can be accomplished within a 9-month turnaround. We understand that local volunteers, sometimes it's hard to commit for a full year. So we want to be very mindful of their time. So we're very strategic on what that implementation looks like. Sometimes we have several local action teams going on at one time working on different strategies and solutions. Again, we work with all of those groups, no matter if you're doing 1 or 10. But typically, we see 1 to 2 to 3 at any given time that we work together with. And again, we want to see those happen fairly quickly. We want to see that change happen sooner rather than later. So typically, those solutions that we work with on those local action teams are done within a 9-month. Those local volunteers then have the opportunity to say, hey, I was passionate about that one specific strategy. I think I'm going to roll off. Or maybe someone has, family that changes things and they can roll off that specific local action team, and we'll start a new one as soon as that one is completed. So even if we complete that first local action team within month 3 of year 2, we're going to roll that into the next local action team. So that is a continuous involvement. Also within those implementation years, the city can come or the town can come to us and say, hey, we're really interested in pulling XYZ data point. Or you may say, hey, we just had this new neighborhood built. Can we pull some new data and some new information? Absolutely. So you get all of that as part of our service. Or you might say, any different number of scenarios happen in those years 2 and 3, and we're here to be your partner. We're not here to take anything away. We want to see you be built up and build on. So we're truly here to add value in every way that we can.
And I think one final question. I know we're looking at Main Street. Are we also looking at North and South Seaton and the businesses on Creamery Road and at the shopping center? Are we looking at those areas as well?
Yeah, when the mayor toured me around town, it's very clear that the town is completely walkable. This is going to really focus in on those downtown businesses specifically, but we want to talk about the connectivity to those other areas of town. So that's definitely going to be a part of our analysis and a part of what we might say. Or we might say, hey, we don't really want to focus on connecting, or maybe we do. Whatever the case might be, we will really help to see what is it that you guys are wanting to accomplish in those other areas of town and see how that can influence the downtown.
Thank you.
How are the action teams established, or reaching out to volunteers? Is the town staff doing that, or is that your group doing that, or how are we obtaining?
Very good question. Yes. So we do those local action teams could be any number of ways. It truly is case by case, and it changes from each different local action team. Sometimes it is city staff. Sometimes it is city council. Sometimes it is just people who are interested in helping the downtown. Sometimes it's just the business owners themselves. It really does depend on what that specific strategy is that we want to start with. or the one that we're focusing on for that specific team. We want the people who are on that local action team to be passionate about them because about that strategy or solution, because again, they're going to be motivated to see it accomplished. Those teams vary from anywhere from 3 to 8 people. So it really does depend, again, on that strategy, the capacity of the team, and what we're really hoping to accomplish. Our organization, Retail Strategies, will work with city staff to identify who are those appropriate people. It might be a call to action. It might be some people that we meet with during our stakeholder input session that says, hey, these people are really passionate about XYZ. Let's recruit them. Let's bring them on to accomplish these things. Or maybe they're just really good at window displays. And if they're really good at displaying their business in their window and they can help train other businesses, whatever that situation might be, that's just an example I pulled out of my head. But so we want to find those people that, again, that are passionate about that specific solution. And we will work together to figure out who those individuals are.
Okay. And then
And
another-
also to continue that, sorry if I interrupted you, but Retail Strategies will attend every single one of those local action team meetings. So it's our 30 for 30. What did we do in the last 30 days? What are we going to do in the next 30 days? So we attend all of those meetings. We create a synopsis, the agenda and the synopsis of the meeting. And so the council would also, if say you're not on that specific local action team, you will have access to the minutes of those different meetings so that you know exactly what's going on.
And then how often I don't know, you come back to this group or the town staff or the planning commission or all the above to give updates of the plan itself of how it's going, or what recommendations or suggestions you have?
Yeah, great question. And it really just depends on what you guys want to see. Some of our clients want to see fairly regular updates, and some say, hey, let us just know when this is accomplished. So it really just depends on what you guys want to see and want out of it. And we'll work towards whatever that is.
Okay. Any other questions, comments?
I do have, I don't know, do we still
Speaker.
is EVPA still in town, or I don't know, Emmitsburg Business Association still together or not?
No, I don't believe so. We haven't met in years.
No.
I mean, I was just wondering.
We
'cause I haven't heard it.
maintain a mailing list and, an email chain that the business units are for particular things, but
They're still in name, but that's about it.
yeah.
So no. So that's,
And they might need that mailing list and stuff for that. because
Yeah.
it
so I think you just,
Might be able to get them back together for one of the action teams.
well, I think you just want to just the individual businesses and
Yeah.
owners and whatever.
Yeah, actually, we just visited every business and had them fill out a information sheet with contact information, emergency contact information, email addresses. So we have an up-to-date business listing. It's probably about 90% complete. We have a few more that we have to go back and visit, but we have contacted every business and organization in the community.
Any other questions, comments? Representative? Okay. All right, so then, with that said, then do we have a motion for agenda item number 5 for consideration or approval proposal from Retail Strategies to develop an action plan for the downtown revitalization? Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
For the first year? Is that for year 1? Or is that for all 3 years?
Just, it's up to your motion.
Made the motion. Oh, you want a motion?
I'm asking for a motion.
All right, I'll make a motion that we go ahead and fund 1 year and see how it goes.
All right, motion to accept the proposal for year 1. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Motion, second. Any additional discussion on the motion? All right, that said, all those in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Very excited to work with you guys.
No, I was thinking of myself.
Yeah, no, okay. All right, make sure I didn't miss something. All right, now we'll resume back to agenda item number 1, which is now agenda item number 2. See Clark slipped up there, so I guess I better get my thinking cap on.
Oh. We are back with vacant property ordinance.
Come on.
I know. Okay, not many changes this time. I tried to address the issues that we discussed the last time this was in front of you, which I mean, the main thing was to try to close up those hardship exemptions and what I ended up doing was I ended up putting time limits on each of them and making it clear that this is it. There's no extra set of circumstances or rules. These are the circumstances you can get a hardship exemption. This is how long they can last. For each of them, they are there in front of you. And also just clarified that piece that we discussed a lot last time, that we're not going to do this as each day is a separate violation, which would really potentially rack up fees if you're doing $500 per violation. So now it's every 30 days is a violation, another 30 days, another violation. So that trying to temper that. So that is what I went back and did. Nothing else has changed. I know there was a lot of discussion about the tax rates, which that's really not in my purview. That's up to you all if you want to do something other than what is already in there. But other than that, I can answer additional questions.
Appreciate the additional effort and additional work on it. So you've addressed the questions and comments that I recall from November, I believe. So with that, then, so I'm going to ask, is there a motion on the table for agenda item number 1 for consideration of approval of ordinance 2026-1, which establishes a vacant property tax and registration program in the town of Emmitsburg? Do we have a motion? Accept, reject, conditional?
I'm
Asking questions.
We're trying to get a motion so we can go into discussion of it if you want.
I go ahead. I'll make the motion. to Accept ordinance 2026-01 as amended or fixed or updated, whichever.
It's currently presented.
Yeah.
So.
I'll second.
All right, so we have a motion, we have a second on the ordinance. Discussion?
Yes. What is the standard rate that we're doing this? I mean, township applies a special vacant property tax rate based on the length and time the property has remained vacant using the current tax rate. Tax rate of what? And what are we going to charge for the violation? I
Okay.
think that's where we're at now, right?
Right. So
Trying to figure that out.
I want to do this again, just so we're all on the same page. There are two
That's your second.
pieces of this. There's violations of this ordinance are a municipal infraction. The fine for that is $500 per 30 days it continues. Okay. So I want to call that violations just for sake of clarity.
Right.
The tax that we're talking about. So that is the standard property tax rate that applies townwide. And as it's written here, again, this is for you to
Right.
decide. As it's written here, after 1 year vacancy, that tax rate is doubled. After 2 years of vacancy, that standard tax rate is tripled, and so on and so forth, as you have there in 8.17.80. So that's
I got you.
where we're at as we stand here now.
What is our rate?
600.
0.36. 36 cents. So.
I don't know if this is helpful or not, but I will observe that the city's rates for their version of this, after 3 years of vacancy, it doubles, and thereafter, it increases by an additional 0.5% per year. So year 4 is 2.5, year 5 is 3, year 6 is 3.5, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, I had said last time that, and feel the same, that the tax rate increase is aggressive. And there's no other municipalities that uses such an aggressive rate. And I had mentioned, could we cap it at the 3 times the standard rate? But we didn't really come to a decision.
So just out of calculations, 36 cents on a $500,000 house is an $18,000 extra, I guess, charge to that.
And just, I know that you maybe were not being precise when you said house, but this only applies to non-residential properties.
I understood.
Yep.
Right.
I
Sorry,
just
yeah.
want to say that for the
Property
sake of
is what I
everyone
should have
listening.
said. You're
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah.
You're correct. Okay. Mayor, do you have any comments? How you would like to go, this go?
I just want to see us adopt something because we need to do something, or over time, downtown could become empty. I mean, we have several buildings now that are empty, and you know, we don't want to see that happen. You just approved a great plan in the item before, so now I think we have to follow up to make some of these property owners that the buildings have been sitting vacant for 10 years or longer to pay some attention and try to help us with our development of the downtown.
Okay.
The tax would be 1,800.
I don't want a $500,000.
36 cents per hundred.
136. Oh, per hundred.
Per hundred. So
My
it's 18,
mistake.
so it's 1,800, not
Okay,
18,000.
my mistake.
Just check my math.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, and I do agree with
That
Commissioner
little softer
Turnquist.
for
It
you?
might be a little aggressive and, you know, to, you know, back it off a little bit would be fine. But I think we got to do something.
Well, 1,800 I can deal with. I don't have a problem with that. I think it should be more than 1,800, to be truthful.
But that's going to be your base rate, and so year 1 is going to be 2 times that.
Yeah. So if we take that,
That's 3,600.
3,600.
And then-
But you're never going to do your 18.
Right. Yeah. Well, don't say that. You never know.
True.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. I got no problem with that.
And I'm afraid those property tax increases to the owners, they're just gonna pass that on to the renters that are in those buildings.
But
So
isn't the problem that there are no renters in that building because
there's people rent the apartments upstairs.
you're talking about a mixed use situation?
Mixed use, which are most of the buildings, I think, that we're talking about.
Probably. Commissioner Turnquist, you're saying the cabinet that, would you say 3 times?
3
So
times.
what are you proposing year 1, 2, 3, 4B to get, what's your recommendation?
Well, I would just say 2 or more years vacant, it's 3 times the rate. Do away with the 4 times and 5
Oh.
times.
No, I can't support that. We need, I mean, we need a reason to get these people to do what they're supposed to do. And they pay to 3 years, it just stays that way and they're just going to continue. I'm with the mayor. We need to set an example basically and do this so people get up off their behinds and fix what needs to be fixed or do what they need to do. I mean, this has been going on for too long.
So Clark, so this writes to year 1 through 4. So what if it goes to year 5? What would
So the way it's written now, 5 is the cap.
Okay.
So basically
so if it goes
4 to the end of time would be
5's the cap?
5. Yeah.
All right.
I don't think they'll pass, they
$9,000.
can't pass too much of the 1,800 on to the renters. If there's only 1 or 2 apartments in that building, they're not gonna get the money from those people, and people are gonna move out and they're gonna have a whole vacant building. They won't get no money at all.
Well, remember, in addition to that fee, they're also that $500 a month at least once.
Say that again.
So in addition to the tax, remember, there's also the provision of
500 every 30
the
days.
Yeah, $500. Not necessarily they're gonna get $500 every 30 days, but there's gonna be some additional charges racked up in there.
You know, believe it or not, some municipalities and some cities have been able to take over buildings. They become owners of the building because I guess people, it's above me thinking this way, but they're using those buildings as tax write-offs and they lose them and they're done and they're happy. And somehow they figured out a way to make more money by paying those fines or not paying the fines and giving the buildings over to the city or town and.
Yeah, well, I mean,
It's kinda
it-
crazy.
right, yeah, if they don't, it's a tax lien.
Yes,
It's crazy to me, but
we'll go to the next owner advisor. I'll make a motion that we accept the
Okay,
ordinance.
So actually,
Have motion.
That's right.
Commissioner Hoover's question made me want to add something to that. I would suggest whatever you do, if you are accepting this, with the additional amendment that section 18.17.80 say 4 years or vacant or more have that maximum cap rate, just to make sure there's no confusion as to what happens after year 4.
So just as an example, if they're paying $2,000 in property taxes per year,
Mm-hmm.
if the property is vacant 4 years or more,
Mm-hmm.
they're gonna, that 2,000 is now 10,000.
Yes, each year.
Plus the $500.
Well, no, they,
Well, I
because
believe there's fees,
yeah,
violations.
so just being vacant is not a violation. A violation is not registering, it's not maintaining your property. So the $500 only applies if you don't do what this ordinance says you have to do. The
Right.
tax applies even if you do everything and maintain it and you've registered, but it's still sitting vacant. You
Right.
still
pay the
will
tax.
deal with the tax increase.
But if they're gonna keep it vacant after the 4 or 5 years, they're probably not gonna do the maintenance on the building.
Well, I'm,
That's what They're probably gonna get fined $500 too.
That's the issue we have it today. That's why you're here.
So I guess we should let this fail and then add that part two.
No, we don't need to.
No, you just make them.
No, you just make a motion to.
Yeah.
To
Amend
amend,
it.
to amend the motion to include,
Okay,
so.
that's
so-
right. Right.
So I'll say it this way and then somebody else can move. So do we have, can we amend the motion to include section 8.17.08 taxation on item 4, say 4 years or more vacant is 5 times the standard rate? Can somebody make that a motion?
So moved.
So moved.
So moved.
Yes.
Second.
Second.
All right, so the motion is now is made. So the motion that we have on the table is to accept the ordinance with that edit made to it. Is there any other discussion?
Yeah, I had another question about the hardship exemptions.
Mhm.
The three, I think there's 3 options there under hardship, but none of those are like true hardship, like a financial hardship. Do we not care about that if there's a personal, financial, or catastrophic hardship? We're only going to consider if it's listed, if the property is listed for sale or lease. It's subject to a pending legal action, where the property is undergoing active construction. What about a financial hardship that can be demonstrated?
It says all hardship exemptions will be granted only upon verification that the applicant meets the qualifying circumstances or criteria. So that could be anything. It
Well,
could
but
be
then
monetarily.
No, it's
No,
these, it's these 3.
She just.
She has stated the issue correctly. It is these are the only scenarios in which
Okay.
you would be granted an exemption under this ordinance.
So do we want to consider a financial hardship if it can be demonstrated? Or we just don't care? You're going to pay 10K no matter what.
Well, I guess I would I would
so-
struggle to think of a scenario where someone would be in a financial hardship for 5 years that doesn't involve wanting to sell or put the property to some use.
That'd be my concern about the financial one. If there was really a financial hardship, they would sell the property.
Just say keep it the way it is.
Assuming they don't owe more than the value.
And that's where bankruptcy comes in if they can't pay their bills.
Right, but I don't think,
If it's residential, I might tend to more agree with it, but to be commercial, I don't think the financial one.
Yeah, I mean, it gets in, what would you consider financial hardship? Just not having cash revenue to pay your bills?
or even for repairs. Maybe you've been in the hospital, maybe you lost your job, maybe you have cancer, maybe. All right, we can move on from that. Another thing is there's no due process. There's no appeal process. If I disagree with your violation or your assessment of my property or.
No, it's a misdemeanor, so you would take it for the county circuit court.
Wouldn't that be, couldn't go to district court?
Yeah, the the standard municipal infraction enforcement process. That's why we
That's in our
talked
code.
about this before. That's why I
Yeah,
don't
that's-
think an
that's in
appeal
our-
process
That's in our
is.
code book for all.
And then they could appeal it to the circuit court if.
And how is the tax rate changed if it doubles? How does that work administratively? Do you submit something to Frederick County to double it or
Yes,
yes? We would
Yeah.
have to do that each year it increases.
correct.
And then I guess has the code enforcement officer taken the necessary training to perform inspections?
Doesn't need training. It's a simple checklist. I mean, a vacant building is a vacant building. I mean, we know, all of us know a couple of them up there that have been vacant for 5, 10 plus years.
Are you talking about
Yeah.
after year 2 when they're
Which one?
the property maintenance inspections?
Yeah.
Um,
'Cause I think it says they can even pay for their own inspection.
Correct. Yeah, the way that is situated at this point is code enforcement can do it. If they don't want code enforcement to do it and they want to have a third party come in and submit a report, they can do that. If they don't do either, then that's another example of a municipal infraction because I don't think it's wise to try to force the issues and have us, forcing our way in there to do an inspection, right? So that would go into code enforcement, citation, et cetera. So
Let me back up. It's not that we're not going to get him training right now. It's just a basic checklist on certain things that he's looking for. I'm thinking of the rental registration, a simple checklist of things that they're going to look for. If it comes to the point where he wants additional training, then we'll certainly look for some. But at this point, in discussions we've had, didn't feel that it was necessary at the time.
I mean, if you're looking at a vacant building, it's vacant. There's not clothes or, I mean, I don't know what kind of training you would. need.
sure, but I believe Commissioner Turnquist is referring to, so they're kind of two things we could be looking at here. There's the initial determination of, is this a vacant building? And there are some things that we include, such as, is there water, utilities, that usage type thing? What's it look like? So that's question one. But then there's another piece of this where if a building has been vacant for 2 years, and we want to make sure that it is safe and it's being maintained both externally and internally, there's an inspection provision here where either code enforcement is going to go in and just check those sort of health
Like
and
loose
safety,
wires and that sort of
Y-
thing,
that-
safety issues.
the big picture stuff, right?
Okay,
Or they can hire their own building inspector to do it for them.
okay.
So
Thank you.
that's what Commissioner Turnquist is referring to.
Yeah, I guess my only concern is the excessive or aggressive tax rate going up to 5 times the standard rate for property taxes. It's like we're penalizing our property owners.
Well, we could always come back and address this, right? I don't see why we couldn't.
If
we
we
could
pass
amend
it,
it.
it's likely to stick.
No, you can always bring it back for an amendment if the tax rate goes up 5% more or whatever. We can always bring it back and amend the taxation part.
Or if we cap it at 3, we could always come back and increase it to 4 or 5.
Or bring it down to 2.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I just think property owners, if their property taxes increase, let's say, as an example, from 2,000 to 10,000. I guess if I was a property owner, I might sell the building, which means the people that are in the apartments are gonna lose their rentals. Or I pass the cost on to the renters. So either way, residents are hurt by the excessive rate. That's all I'll say.
So why
I'll
can't we
drop it.
just go ahead and make the rate set at whatever the rate is at the time of the violation?
It is.
It is.
Right.
We're,
so
we're talking about, this is a,
Even if we raise the taxes next year, can't we just keep the rate that this is being charged as the rate of the violation? Say it's at 3.6 now and we go to 4.1 next year, this rate charge, the offense occurred under the 3.6, so we keep it at 3.6. We don't charge them at the 4.1 rate.
It's a standard rate.
Do you understand where
I'm not sure what that accomplishes.
I mean, it's gonna be a minimal amount of savings, but.
Yeah,
Because you're, if,
I mean, because
you
really,
raise it-
because so I mean, just play that out. So let's take your $500,000 example. If the base tax rate increases next year, and again, that applies to everyone. So
Right.
they're paying that base rate. So then you're saying we should calculate the penalty
yes,
based
at
on.
the rate of the occurrence.
I think that would, I mean, it's possible, but it would require staff to track and honestly speaking, I just don't really, I mean, it's a bit of a reprieve to the property owner in that case.
I mean, I was just
Um,
looking at Commissioner Turnquist, what she was saying, maybe we could do something like that if that was an option.
It's an option.
Okay.
Tell me what was the option? Explain.
The suggestion was that you set the tax,
Tax rate?
so you use the base tax rate as whatever it was
When we did the-
year one of the vacancy. I'm not sure how often, when is the last time the municipal real property tax rate has increased?
2002.
Okay, so that hasn't changed since 2002. So
if it goes up 2 cents, the difference will be $100
mhm.
on a $500,000 house, or I'm sorry, $500,000 property. So probably the property value is going to grow more so than definitely the property value is going to grow more so than the tax rate.
Yeah, so I mean, I see,
So your suggestion, while it has a potential savings on the tax side, yeah, but the property value, the fair market value would change more rapidly, more steady than the town tax
I'm
rate
just saying,
is.
this is just the violation part. Of course, their taxes go by whatever we set, and that's gonna be paid no matter what. I'm just saying, as the violation part, we don't really need to dig them a little more, another $100 savings, whatever. I mean,
You have to
just
get,
trying to be fair in all this.
understand.
So I guess my question is, once you're vacant 5 years and we're on over 3% or 5%, do we really want businesses sitting vacant for 5 years? Regardless of the reason.
Let me tell you the conversation I had with
Deal
two
what
of
we
the
said here.
vacant property owners. The one I had, there was someone that wanted a business that wanted to go in. So I talked to him and I said, hey, what are you talking about? What are you talking about rent? And his answer was $4,000 a month and 20% of the business profit. Well, you know how that went over. It's still sitting vacant. And the other vacant property that I talked to, they go, well, what was in there before had sentimental value, so I really don't want to rent it again. So that's the mentalities that you're talking about. It's not people that are struggling. It's people that are asking ridiculous prices for the rent, or people that just don't want to rent it and they're happy letting it sit empty. So that's just two of the properties that I personally spoke to, and they were the answers I got.
That's your two
I'm
main-
actively trying
that's
to
your
get
two main
business.
properties, obviously. There's two main properties over there. There's the two main ones. All right. Any other discussions, comments, questions?
Second.
All right, so then we have a motion on the table to accept the ordinance with the amendment of section 8.17.08 to change 4 years to be 4 years or more is 5 times the rate. So motion on the table to accept, accept this proposal. It's second. No other questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 All opposed?
Nay.
Motion carries 4-1. Mr. Turnquist opposed, all others in favor. Thank you. Now to the next equally exciting item. The next agenda item, and item 2, is consideration approval of resolution 26-01R, which establishes the fee structure for the vacant property tax and registration program in the town of Emmitsburg.
So these are your registration fees that the ordinance that you just passed said would be passed by resolution. The initial fee is $75. The annual renewal fee is $50.
Same question is, do we have a motion from the council to accept the proposed ordinance or have a or what have you? Anybody for motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the establishment of the vacant property tax and registration program.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
All right. Motion's been made and seconded on the ordinance. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, all right. Motion was made and second. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 All opposed?
I'm going to abstain since it's an extension of the previous vote. I'll abstain.
Motion's been made, accepted, it was approved four to 01, I guess it is.
One abstention, yeah.
Four in favor. Commissioner Turnquist abstained. And item number 3, for consideration approval of resolution 26-02R, approving request to release bond number CIC 1933275 for the Federal Stone and Industries project.
Hi, sorry, so this is for the Federal Stone, their payment performance bonds. They submitted their as-bills for Federal Stone and, the Creamy Court extension. The project engineer certified that all the work has been done and the town engineer inspected last month. And, per the town engineer's inspections, the bonded items have been completed. So, we suggest releasing the entire bond.
Resolution reads, a resolution approving establishment of the no. wrong one. Here you go. Hang on. Getting late. All right. Okay. Motion to accept.
Next.
Yep.
Oh.
there we go.
To approving
Approving
the
the partial release of the payment of performance.
There is a correction. I'm sorry, Commissioner Hoover. That's a full release, not a partial release. It's full. Yes, my apologies.
Good. Full release of the payment and performance security bonds, CIC 1933275, Federal Stone Industries, the Mayor and Board of Commissioners of the Town of Emmitsburg, Maryland, pursuant to the authority granted to them by the laws of Maryland, Charter of the Town of Emmitsburg, this 12th day of January 2026, hereby find that whereas FS Green LLC contracted to agree to certain public improvements, including landscape and lighting and water and sewer and infrastructure, pursuant to the above improvement plans, and as security to ensure payment and performance of such improvements furnished to the Town of Emmitsburg, both a payment security bond and performance security bond, collectively the bonds. And whereas the bonds were provided in the original amount, including a 15% contingency for a total of $157,337.53. And whereas the improvement security of the bonds were required as part of the approved development plans for Federal Stone Industries and Creamery Court Extension projects, and whereas FS Creamery LLC has completed an improvement shown in the attached Exhibit A consistent of public improvements eligible for a full bond release, and whereas the facilities have been inspected by the town of Emmitsburg, its consultant engineer have found to be constructed in accordance with approval plans and applicable standards. And whereas the town of Emmitsburg has determined that the release of the bond is appropriate for the completion of improvements. Now therefore be hereby enacted this 12th day of January 2026 by the Mayor and Board of Commissioners, resolution number 2026-02R is true, correct, and duly adopted by the Mayor and Board of Commissioners of the town of Emmitsburg. Motion to accept the resolution.
So moved.
Motion, we got a second. Any discussion?
You have one quick question. Kathy, the bond, the $7,000. When we hold that bond, do we put that into an account that collects interest? Or is it just held? I'm sorry,
This was a letter of credit that they,
it's
So-
just a letter.
yeah.
There's no actual money. Okay.
The bond,
I just
bonding
got
agency.
you there.
Okay. Any additional questions, comments? All right, motion on table in second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion so moved, unanimous. That takes us on, agenda item number 5 is over, let's see, what 5 was. Okay, motion on item number 4, right? Yep. Item number 4 for consideration and approval of the access easement and maintenance agreement, Crystal Fountain Road area, which grants a grantee a permanent private access route across town-owned land and establishes the ongoing use, maintenance, and liability responsibilities for all current and future property owners.
So this easement was actually approved by the board about a year ago in December of 2024. The grantee was asked to prepare the easement for review with a few conditions. It took them a while to actually get this done because they needed to clean up some title issues. They've done that. They produced this document. I have reviewed it. It includes all of the conditions that we set on them. The easement itself is depicted there on page 55 of your agenda packet, the drawing. It's a 25-foot pedestrian and residential vehicular easement to access the grantee's property through the town's property. They are responsible for repair and maintenance and keeping it free of trash and debris. We would only be responsible if we go in there and do something to damage the easement, which at this point I believe is just a dirt road. It's non-exclusive, so we have access to it. They've agreed to carry insurance that's in there. They will indemnify us in the event of any issue that's in there. And everything else that I would hope to see in an easement agreement has been included in this. And so I would say it is fine to approve this.
The question I have is, this easement is to do what? Just for,
To access.
I mean, is it walk-in piece or drop?
Well, it is pedestrian and residential vehicular. So you can walk it and you can drive on it, not commercial vehicles, but yeah, you can drive a truck back there. I mean, I think this has something to do with hunting ultimately, but
Gotcha.
yeah.
And what it also does, it gives us access in the case of a wildfire or something, and that would
Okay.
hurt our watershed area. So that it's really an advantage to us.
All right, and you say they have met all the agreements and requirements that we set back in.
December of 2024. Yes.
Very good. All right, so is there a motion to accept the easement as presented here tonight? Off of Clark's. Let's go. Presentation.
So moved.
Seconded.
Thank you, thank you. All right, so we have a motion, we have a second. Any additional discussion?
Who pays for recording fees?
They do.
They do.
Mhm. Yeah, it's their easement.
And if it's up to them if they want to pave it or add stone, it's
Mhm.
at their cost.
Yep.
If they do that. do they have to consult with the town for approval, just so we don't violate any like stormwater regulations or? Because it basically says they can do whatever they want.
Well, they still,
Add stone, they can widen it, they can pave it, but
well, they
don't
can't,
talk to the town.
they can't widen it.
Okay, they could pave it.
Sure, they can pave it. And it would have to comply with any regulation that would apply to whatever it is that
They
they
would
they do.
require town approval.
Well, if it's something that the town approves, if it's something that would require county approval, then it would require county approval, obviously. But yes,
And-
they're still subject to all the standard rules and regulations.
Something
Yeah.
like that, in this case, would require a county permit because it's outside of town.
Pave it.
It's on our watershed, but it's outside of town limits.
Okay,
So
got it.
the county would provide the permits
Right.
if there was a requirement for permits.
Yeah.
For water management or what have you.
And in that case, the town would probably actually have to be the applicant as the property owner, or they would at least have to sign the authorization.
Problem. Okay. All right. Any other comments, questions? All right, so we have a motion and a second on the table then on the easement. So all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. That takes us to agenda item number 6. For consideration approval of change order number 8 paving for the water clarifier project.
It's me. Yes, so paving was not included in the original design and contract or construction contract for the water clarifier. But after meeting with the engineer and staff up there, it is just stone. And so staff would like it paved because we do have a lot of larger trucks coming in, and for snow removal, a rock is, you can't really snow removal with rock. So we asked the contractor, or the contractor to come up with a paving price for us just to pave the lot there at the new clarifier, and that amount is $36,777.62. There is money available in their contract and with ARPA to fund the paving at the water clarifier.
And if we don't use that ARPA money, we're gonna end up giving it back.
Yes.
Let's use it. All right, so then is there a motion for agenda item number 6 for consideration approval to change order number 8 for the paving requested by staff for the
I'll make the
water
motion.
clarifying project? All right, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion, we have a second. Any additional questions, comments? No additional questions or comments, then all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Nay. Very good. Motion carries 5-0. Right, that moves us to agenda item number 6. What a great topic to end that on you for you. What a great topic to end. So this is for discussion, not consideration, for discussion, a pay increase for the mayor and commissioners. Okay, it's for discussion. I was going to open that up.
I guess I will, since I added it to the agenda. I think that the last raise that the commissioners and the mayor have received was in, I said, like the end of the 1990, 1998, somewhere there. So actually it was 2002. So it's been 23 years since anything has been done with that. I thought a recommendation of 6,000 for the commissioners, 12,000 for the mayor, and then for the planning and zoning to raise that from $25 to $50. Now, of course, that would become for the next election for the next people that are brought on board.
Planning Commission is not on here.
Letter C was taken off years ago. So the
Letter
planning
C.
commission
Oh,
does not,
Okay, well, I was
they don't
just-
get anything these days.
All right, thank you.
Thought that was removed.
But that was when I was on there, so that was 30 years ago.
So this is for mayor and board of commissioners only, and you're proposing to go
4 to 6 for the
4 to 6,
commissioners, and then 12 for the mayor. The mayor does a lot of work.
from 8 to 12.
Oh, I mean, things have changed. The town has grown. We have more problems. We want more people to come in. We want more businesses, so it's more work for the mayor and for the commissioners.
Okay.
So I just like to see other people get involved, some more younger people.
Okay, very good, thank you. Any other comments, questions, opinions, thoughts?
While I think I would love a raise as well as anybody else up here would probably love a raise. I think with the size, with our population and looking at the cost for other similar sized municipalities, and the size of our budget, I don't think we should increase it.
Okay, I mean, that's,
So just,
But I
just
mean,
for-
everybody
discussion.
has an opinion,
yeah,
so.
and just for clarity, would you just, I mean, it would not.
it's not gonna affect any of us.
Well, it
It's
won't
for-
affect anybody here
We're gonna
unless you
elect-
win another election.
Right.
Right.
Well, it goes up-
Assuming you apply. So it doesn't go for the board as they sit here.
I mean, if somebody else has another, option to this, or you just don't want to do it, but I'd like to see it brought up.
Any other comments, thoughts, opinions?
Yeah, I guess I'm gonna piggyback off of her comment. I think we have enough financial constraints, and I think if we're gonna put money in there, well, everybody loves more money, but I think if we're gonna add money to anything, it needs to be to the water budget. We have aging infrastructure, and I think in the list of priorities, before we give an increase to elected members, I'd rather see money go to that water infrastructure.
Do you think whatever the amount is going to put a dent into that water? You need $10 million.
Agreed, but every little, if I'm asking the public to pay an extra $20 a month in water fees, it's every little bit counts. And I agree, it's, in the total dollars seems inconsequential. To me, it's more of a statement issue.
Well, we need more people to get involved in local government. And I know I'm at the age where I'm retiring, Jim's retiring. We need younger blood, and we need to get other people involved. And this, to me, this just isn't enough to entice somebody to come in here and face people that want to yell at you and hate you and you're making a bad decision. And, it happens all the time. It happened 30 years ago. It happens today. I just think that people should, not we, but people that do these jobs should be compensated fairly. And whatever y'all decide is fine. I
will say, I'm not going to run for reelection,
I'm not either.
but I do agree that to get more people to be involved, it's going to take a little bit more money. Now, whether the dollar amounts that Commissioner Benvenji talks about is the right dollar amounts or not, that's another discussion, I guess, but I believe it's a discussion worth at least having for consideration on a future agenda item.
No, I agree that it's worth the consideration of something, how to draw people in.
Yeah, so I mean, that's the only thing, because as you can see now, we do elections that some years you have, multiple people that will sign up for more people to sign up than you have seats available. And some years you struggle to get people, to sign up for seats that are available. So I do believe that
I think
something
some
needs to be considered.
people who run, or at least should be, we're running because we care about the community and we want to make a difference.
Mhm.
I didn't run so I could earn $4,000 a year.
I would hope nobody's doing this job for the money. I mean,
So if we can only attract people based on what we're going to pay them, then their concern for the community is not non-existent, but it's definitely,
I think you're fine.
like Newmarket, they don't pay anything to their commissioners. Smithsburg is only $1,500 to their commissioners. Walkersville, only $3,600 they pay their commissioners, and their population is double ours.
Municipalities are all.
I think you just have to be in it for the right reasons.
I agree. Well, I agree with that. I
So
don't,
you're saying we should just take away all our pays and we'll just do it for nothing?
Well, if that's what the board decides.
Then we get nobody to run.
Bring it, bring it for consideration. I don't know, you can make that motion, so anyway. Commissioner
If,
Sweeney?
if we changed it to 0, would anybody here not rerun?
I'm not rerunning, no
I'm
matter
not
what it is.
rerunning.
You can change it to 100,000. I'm not
That's
rerunning.
it.
Would you rerun if it
no,
was
no.
0?
When I ran in all the elections that I've run in, I didn't consider the money. That the only consideration, if I had to come out of my pocket for thousands of dollars to do something, then it comes in. But the little bit of stuff that I've had to point out, like for travel here or there to meetings or to meet with people, to me is inconsequential.
So what did you get paid
What?
during your
Do
other
it-
term?
Well, no, it's been the
Well, I mean,
same.
Not here. Didn't you hold office somewhere else?
No, not as an elected official.
Okay,
When I first was elected, it was $600
was it?
a year.
Well, I was same year you
Yeah,
started
it was
with me.
600, yes, it was 600 when we started.
Yes.
Yeah, but you didn't know you got paid.
No, I did not know. we got paid. And
You
I
were sur-
did run.
you were
for pay. I
surprised.
ran for.
You were
yeah, I was
surprised.
we could pay.
Well, the code even says, which we should change, but the code says that the treasurer should be paid an additional fee on top of our rate. I don't think you've ever been paid an additional fee. I wasn't paid an additional fee. That's okay. We need to take that out of the code, by the way. So it's not all about the money. I think we just get so much joy from coming here and sharing our ideas.
Yeah.
You can't put a price
I
tag.
was missing
No,
that.
you can't.
I was off that day. No,
So,
no, I enjoy what I do. I enjoyed it
Yeah.
all the years I've done it, but I will say again, I do agree that it's at least worth a valid discussion for possible consideration in a future meeting, but I'll
we'll
leave
see
that up
what
to
the
this board.
budget looks like and see where we're at.
Good.
I mean, we have any time because we're not paying ourselves. This goes for future people.
All right. So you.
Or how about if the town on their Facebook page just elicits what the population thinks? Should commissioners get a raise?
The answer is going to be no.
Yeah.
Thermont gets paid 10,000 per commissioner
Yeah.
and 20 for the
Yeah.
mayor.
Municipalities are all over the place. Some get paid like Commissioner
Yeah.
Turnquist said, don't get paid anything. Some get
This
paid
town is growing.
by the number of meetings they go to or by the number of, it's all over the place. There's no,
Yeah, I think that
There's
it
no
should be
pattern.
commensurate with what the expense, really is of being in that position. That's traveling to and from meetings and everything, taken out of what you would do if you weren't doing this. To me, that whatever that number would be, that's a reasonable amount.
the real one that has expenses is the mayor.
Yes.
Right.
I've been there, done that.
Yeah, you have.
Spend a lot of money-
Twice.
Spend a lot out of pocket money.
I mean, if you're gonna do this job properly, you take the stuff home and you research. And that's what I do every night, try to. Whatever I see is on the agenda, I try to go research, find out the information. I just think this could be a full-time job if you made it. There are a lot of things in this town that, if you like, me and my wife rode around the other night, just writing down numbers of lights that are either too dull that you can't see or they're out. And I forgot to bring it, so I will bring that tomorrow. She drove, I wrote.
Down
So
my-
I mean, there are things in this town that we do on this. I'm not saying I need to be paid for it. I've worked all my life. I'm retired. I have my money. This isn't why I did it. I did it to help this community out. I've lived here over 30 years now. So I'm just saying to get other people involved, younger people who want to take pride in there, you may have to raise the price to get somebody else in here. Because we can't continue for 20 more years. Anyway, that's all.
All right, so Commissioner Benji, I'm gonna take what you said a minute ago. Wait till we see what the
Yeah,
budget
that's
is.
fine.
And
Let's
if you
wait
want-
for the budget,
And if you
see
want
where
to bring,
we're at.
if you want to bring it back as an agenda item, then we'll consider it. then.
That's fine.
So we'll table this discussion from now, if everybody is okay with that. Very good. All right, thank you very much. So then we're gonna move on to and set the agenda item for the next meeting. There will not be raises.
All right, so the next town meeting will be Monday, February 2nd. I have two administrative business items. First one will be review of ordinance 25-02 student housing. Number 2 will be discussion of town visitor and welcome center. Moving to agenda items, number 1 will be the fiscal year 25 audit presentation. Number 2 for consideration approval of FY 2025 budget transfers. Number 3 for consideration approval of ordinance 26-02 Parks and Recreation Committee update. Number 4 for consideration approval of ordinance 26-03 Citizens Advisory Committee update. Number 5 for consideration approval of Public Works and Improvements Agreement for Brookfield parcels C, D, and E. Number 6 for consideration approval of bid for Federal Avenue Storm Drain Inlet Project. And number 7, discussion of fiscal year 27 water rates. 27.
Could we also add on there,
Do whatever you want.
the North Seaton Avenue water line replacement? We should have we should be able to get the bid out for that.
It's already out.
Oh, the bid is out.
Huntsbury's already approved.
No. North Seaton Avenue extended. The line that's leaking.
I can try. How about that? I can
Yeah.
try.
Let's put it on there. We can always take it off.
Okay, I'll try.
Yeah.
So number.
Yeah.
For consideration approval of bid to replace the North Seaton Avenue extended water line.
Which is from the bridge out. It's 12 homes. It's the one we had the double leak on, and it's actively leaking now.
See out toward 50,
Yeah,
From-
there's-
the old exit of 15.
right.
the
It
bridge
would go
out.
from Spikes to the McNair farm. It's 12 homes, and it's actively leaking. As a matter of fact, the second leak was 2 foot from the first leak. So it's just working its way out.
How far does the water line go?
It goes out to the McNair farm.
Oh, it does. I didn't think it went that far. So them houses are connected to it?
Yes,
The 12 houses?
yes, there's 12 homes, 2 on, right. The Rubes is connected, and then the
12 houses?
old Boyle property is connected on the other side of the road. So there's 2 underneath and then 10 up.
Oh, see, I didn't even know
Besides
that.
Spike,
Yeah,
yes.
but in 30 years, I didn't know that. I know that now. I thought it stopped at the spikes. but,
Well, if we paid you a little more money, you'd have
Yeah.
probably had time to do that.
He couldn't afford the gas to ride out.
I didn't think it went that far because I knew they didn't have sewer. I didn't think they had water either.
No, I'm just kidding.
All right, any commissioners have any
I
other,
learn something every year.
that's right. Any commissioners, have any other,
Just a quick question, the
suggestions?
Parks and Rec and the CAC updates, those are code updates?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you know what we're changing? off the top
It's
of your head?
making,
times, isn't it?
It was time, well, no, it's partially times. It's really just trying to make them consistent based on some feedback. So there were a couple odds and ends in there. I can't remember them off the top of my head, but
I think you just made them all meet at the same time. Made them all at the same time, have the same rules of appointing or
Yeah.
yeah,
voting on members and what have you.
Correct.
Things of that nature.
Okay.
Just administrative stuff.
mhm.
No functional change. Okay, any commissioners have any agenda items or whatever they'd like to bring to the table at this time to consider or?
No, I have nothing.
The Sustainable Community Grant, but we can maybe talk about that at the next meeting, maybe put it on for a future meeting.
Okay.
So nothing at this time.
You remind me at the next meeting then.
And
All
you
right.
said the green team was coming with their, maybe. You said something February or March for the green?
I think they're shooting for March.
Okay, then it's not.
For a
Thank you.
meeting?
No, to
To
bring
bring
their,
back,
to bring it back, the guy, I guess the
spring-
guidelines.
spring will be here
March.
before you know it.
Yeah, March.
Do you know when the Green Team meeting is?
Hasn't, it apparently hasn't been set yet.
Okay.
All right, do we have a motion to accept the agenda items as requested?
So moved.
Second.
Second. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I make
Motion
a
carries.
motion to close the meeting.
Please don't forget to get us any more questions on the solar so we can get your answers, please.
That's my last item, right? Yes.
That's it.
Would you have a motion adjourned?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Sign anything?